A pair of legends finally crossed paths, catching everyone in that studio completely off guard. It was an incredibly heartwarming and totally spontaneous celebrity encounter, the likes of which the web hasn't witnessed in ages. Forget orchestrated publicity stunts. This was just two masters of their craft colliding in a simple corridor. Behind the scenes of a major breakfast broadcast, they were geeking out over one another in the most charming way. The champion skater Alysa Liu and the legendary Daniel Radcliffe happened to be booked for the Today program on Monday, March 2nd. Though their agendas differed, Liu was still riding the high of her recent groundbreaking victory on the ice. Fresh from her win at the 2026 Winter Games in Italy, she met Radcliffe as he marketed his latest television project. Fate orchestrated a magical collision in that hallway while the lenses captured every single second of the magic. This interaction serves as a beautiful testament to why the public is so captivated by stars in their rawest state. It wasn't about the glitz of the catwalk or glossy editorials, but rather the unfiltered essence of being human. In this space, a global superstar acts with the same giddy fervor as a typical teenager meeting their idol. The celebrity persona vanished, revealing the authentic soul hiding behind the constant media storm. The magic truly sparked the very moment Alysa Liu caught sight of Daniel Radcliffe heading her way. Her brain seemed to freeze entirely, a breakdown unfolding right there on camera for everyone to see. This was a world-class athlete who had just stood tall under the brightest lights on the Olympic stage. She had previously conquered the most intense stakes imaginable with an almost robotic level of poise and focus. Yet, in a heartbeat, that ironclad composure evaporated as she gasped, nearly letting a swear word slip. She checked herself just as the actor arrived, offering a reaction so authentic it was truly priceless. This wasn't some staged performance for the cameras. It was the honest shock of a 20-year-old facing a personal hero. For a split second, she was just a fan who couldn't manage to string together a single logical thought. They shared an embrace, a massive, heartfelt hug that showed they were both fully present in the moment. It wasn't that cold, professional lean-in common at corporate gatherings. Despite being strangers, their energy was magnetic. They greeted one another like long-lost companions, their radiant expressions telling a story more powerful than words. The sheer joy on their faces was impossible to ignore, as neither could stop themselves from beaming. From that initial spark of recognition until they finally stepped back, they were both absolutely glowing. It was a physical manifestation of pure delight, the kind of grin that just takes over your entire being. The best part was that while Liu was visibly starstruck, Radcliffe was mirroring her excitement perfectly. He kept gesturing toward her gold prize, despite being one of the most famous faces since the age of 11. Having spent his entire existence inside the intense spotlight of global stardom, he could have been anywhere else. Instead, he was fixated on Alysa Liu's medal, looking at it like it was the most marvelous thing he had ever encountered. He high-fived her and asked for a picture, standing proudly beside her as she displayed the hardware. His enthusiasm was almost youthful in its intensity, matched only by the sincerity of Liu's own shock. Seeing such a massive star show genuine fervor for her achievements left her whispering, "Oh my lord," in total awe. Those few words perfectly summarize the disbelief and the dreamlike nature of that entire backstage meeting. Social media went into a frenzy as the clip went viral, with the feedback pouring in almost instantly. Observers were moved by the sight, noting how refreshing it was to see such unbridled happiness. One specific comment about their authentic joy garnered thousands of likes, echoing the collective sentiment of viewers everywhere. There was something special about seeing two top-tier professionals, both accustomed to being the center of attention. Yet here they were, acting like total fanboys and fangirls over each other's incredible life journeys. It felt incredibly distinctive and real in a digital age overflowing with fabricated and hollow content. In a world of over-rehearsed media, this kind of raw sincerity is exactly what the public craves most. This event also sparked a deeper look into the lives of these two individuals and why their meeting mattered. This is significant because Daniel Radcliffe has been a household name for as long as most can remember. He was catapulted into the stratosphere of fame as Harry Potter back in 2001. For over a decade and across 8 massive blockbusters, he matured right in the public eye, a path that breaks many. He emerged from that whirlwind with his grace and skills perfectly preserved. Ever since hanging up the wizard's robe, the actor has pursued a path defined by fearless artistic risks. From theater boards to gritty indie cinema, he chose characters that shattered every preconceived notion the public held. His resume spans from portraying a flatulent cadaver in a cult classic to headlining several massive theatrical hits on Broadway. By intentionally picking projects that catch fans off guard, He carved out a legacy of prestige far removed from that iconic lightning bolt. Currently, he headlines the NBC comedy The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins alongside Tracy Morgan, broadcasting Mondays at 8:30 or 7:30 Central. As the series gains serious momentum, the actor's stellar turn serves as a powerful wake-up call to audiences everywhere. It proves once more that he possesses an incredible, enduring versatility between hilarious comedy and profound dramatic weight. During a morning appearance on Today, he promoted his project with that signature wit and magnetism that defines his public persona. Suddenly, fate provided a moment far more magical than any scripted question from a journalist could manage. A corridor encounter, a champion athlete, and a lens that never stopped recording. Enter Alysa Liu. For those unfamiliar with her meteoric rise, here is a snapshot of her incredible journey. At 20, she has dominated the ice for years, having shattered records at 13 as the youngest American national champion ever. Born to a Chinese immigrant, her father actually mastered coaching techniques solely to ensure her natural gifts were fully nurtured. Her trajectory mirrors a fairy tale that feels impossible, yet it remains anchored in reality while only growing more spectacular with time. During the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Games, the skater stepped onto the ice for the women's individual competition. She gave a showcase so remarkable that it will remain a conversation piece for years. By February 19th, having concluded her long program, the high-stakes finale of the contest, the results were finally in. Clad in gold atop the winner's platform, her radiant expression perfectly mirrored the joy she shared in that backstage meeting with the actor. Authentic and effortless, her triumph ignited a massive surge of national pride and jubilation from coast to coast. Victory belonged to Team USA, secured by the steady hands and unwavering precision of the remarkably composed champion. During her March 2nd sit-down on Today, Craig Melvin questioned if the magnitude of her achievement had truly sunk in yet. He spoke of the gold, the artistry, and the overwhelming flood of affection cascading toward her since her historic victory. Her response was a blend of sincerity and charm, reflecting a soul deeply moved by the scale of her success. She admitted that the affection felt endless and evolving, confessing with a shrug that she was still navigating the experience. Despite the intensity, her gratitude remained paramount, showcasing a level of poise that felt uniquely honest in the professional world. Rather than downplaying her feats or hiding behind a mask of forced modesty, she accepts her accolades with a rare authenticity. There is no boasting involved. Instead, she greets her fame with a sense of wonder and profound appreciation for the moment. Living presently within her new reality, she projects a heartfelt kindness that resonates clearly through every media interaction she handles. Host Hoda Khatib highlighted a specific observation that had become a talking point for many watching the games at home: her steady poise during the event. While her rivals appeared shaken by the immense tension of the global stage, she seemed completely immune to the surrounding chaos. She operated on an entirely different frequency, one defined by stillness, focus, and a nearly transcendental level of peace. Curious, Khatib probed deeper, asking what internal dialogue occupies her mind while performing under such extreme scrutiny. Her explanation was basic yet deeply impactful. She simply reminded herself to keep her lungs working through the stress. Oxygen management remains crucial during her routine, especially given the grueling physical endurance required to complete the 4-minute set. By refining her rhythm and absorbing the crowd's enthusiasm, she found she didn't need complex mental games, just the air in her lungs. Coming from a record-breaking prodigy who reached the pinnacle of her sport, this simple wisdom carried the weight of gold. It all comes down to respiration. While it sounds basic, consider the immense complexity of what she is actually achieving. She described navigating one of the most taxing challenges both mentally and physically that any athlete could ever face on the ice. A 4-minute routine performed before millions, where every leap and turn is scrutinized by judges and spectators in an instant. Her secret weapon for maintaining control was nothing more than conscious, focused inhalations. She didn't rely on complex rituals or intricate mental exercises to stay grounded. She simply inhaled, exhaled, and allowed the electricity of the stadium to propel her toward history. Such advice seems elementary until one is trapped in a furnace of high pressure, struggling to keep their composure and lungs steady. It is a battle to remain grounded, preventing the mind from racing toward the finish line while the body is still performing. While standing under the brightest lights of professional athletics, 20-year-old Liu successfully unlocked a profound truth. She achieved this by embracing simplicity and returning to her core values. She possessed the confidence to avoid overthinking her performance, an approach that proves incredibly useful in every single aspect of human existence, not just on the ice. Back in that hallway, the encounter was far more than just a passing internet trend. It offered a tiny window into a personality trait they both possess. Both showed a level of groundedness rarely found in those who have spent a lifetime in the limelight or just hit a monumental milestone. Radcliffe refused to act aloof, ignoring the usual celebrity playbook of feigning boredom when meeting a fellow star. Fantastic projects. A pleasure to cross paths. Simply wonderful. He gestured wildly at her gold, requested a photo, and traded high fives like a man who was completely overcome by genuine, uncontainable excitement for his idol. He didn't show even a single hint of self-consciousness. Despite being under the microscope for weeks on end, Liu dropped her guard the very moment they met. She laughed and shared a hug, letting her excitement flow naturally rather than putting on a show of stoic professionalism. The pair remained completely and utterly anchored in the present. They lived the experience without tailoring their reactions for others, which is exactly why that footage became such a massive hit. The clip exploded across social media because every viewer could sense a level of honesty that is rarely seen on a screen. That kind of sincerity is impossible to fake, and the digital audience recognized that fundamental truth the very second they saw it. People weren't just captivated by the cuteness, though it was certainly adorable. They responded solely to such a profound scarcity. Watching two massive cultural icons ditch their professional armor in favor of a moment of pure, unrefined joy was the real magic of that entire exchange. Fame can poison the human mind, making people guarded or so conscious of being watched that they lose their natural, unscripted rhythm in public. This is the simple cure that helps people stay grounded. Both Radcliffe and Liu displayed that powerful connection to their true selves in that corridor. Simply being present, being human, and letting the moment breathe on its own. With Liu holding gold and Radcliffe starring in a hit, their 90-second meeting in that hallway offered the digital world a massive dose of much-needed reality. Evidence that even those residing at the absolute summit remain beautifully and fundamentally human. Still starry-eyed, still beaming, still requesting photos.